What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to build and play Aphrodite in Smite, and the three main game I was going to talk about are going to be Arena, Joust and Conquest. And as always, I'm going to leave the timestamps in the description below for when I'm talking about each game mode, in case you want to skip to a specific game mode and see how you build her in that. And as always, I am going to start off by going through her abilities and her passive, just for those beginners who are just starting off with Aphrodite and they don't fully understand how the god works or how her passive works. So I'm going to be talking about that, and that's also good that you understand the god's abilities, because it can help you when building, because some items go well with people's passives or their abilities. So without further ado, let's start off with the abilities and the passive. So the passive is basically you gain 4 physical and magic protections for each god other than yourself. So that's your friendly gods and the enemy gods, and it's 4 physical and magic protections for each god, meaning 36 magical and 36 physical at a maximum in like a 5v5 team fight, because you don't count as one of the gods. So that's the passive. That's what makes her really good as a guardian, because she does gain that extra 36 physical and magic protections, and she can afford to maybe sacrifice one item and get maybe a damage item instead, because she's not going to be losing as many protections because of her passive, especially when she's in a team fight. Now her first ability is basically just a stun. It stuns an enemy god, or if it's a friendly god then you link yourselves to them. And yes, Aphrodite blows a kiss, making them their soulmate, and they get increased movement speed. If it hits an ally, then you can do the thing where you hit someone, then do your heal, and then hit someone again with your one, because it is going to have a low cooldown. So it's helpful for when you're doing it to an ally. And if it's an enemy god, then they're stunned. And one thing you got to realize is, well, let me go to the change team place. Where is it? There it is. And I'll actually go to the reduce cooldown. So if you're already linked to someone on your team, and then you do an enemy god, there's something like they become jealous is the word. So I'm gonna see if this distant works. If I do it to him and then I do it to him, you can see that he's got that around him, meaning that he will get 20% increased damage. Also 70% of the mana generated by Aphrodite is restored to a soulmate. So basically, if you're playing her support and you're linked to someone, you and the person you're linked to is going to be pretty much unstoppable, and it's going to be really good for increasing their damage as well. So that's her first ability. Her second ability is basically a knockback that does damage, and I mean it slows as well, but what you got to realize is that if you're linked to someone, so I'll demonstrate here as well. If I'm linked to them and then I do my 2, it happens around them as well. So that's why it's a really good ability when you're linked to someone, and if the person you're linked to is getting damaged, you can use the 2 to help them out as well. Not to mention that it slows as well, so that's really good. For 2 seconds that is, and knocks them back. So that's really good for if you're surrounded, or you and your linked person is surrounded, you can just knock everyone back, and it actually does some decent damage. 3 pretty much is tick damage, and it heals you. Damage per tick is 55 and the heal per tick is 38, plus obviously depends on your power. So this is pretty much a simple ability. It just heals you. If you're linked to someone, then they get healed as well. Obviously you can't see that right now because he's got full health, but yeah, it heals you and the person you're linked to. And lastly, her ult, where she basically becomes immune to everything, I believe. And all crowd control effects are removed. So it's basically an Aegis and a beads combined. But yeah, that's her whole kit. Now let's get onto the let's get onto the arena build, I guess, to start off with. So for arena, I obviously I sometimes think whether it's worth starting the Mage's Blessing or not. Sometimes I like to just go into tier 2 Chronos Pendant, but most of the time I'll go for the Mage's Blessing. First tier Chronos Pendant into a full Chronos Pendant, and then cooldown boots. And once I have stacked this, I have max cooldown 10%, 20%, 10%. And the reason you want to have that on Aphrodite is because you want to constantly be stunning people, and basically hitting them. Basically the more you can heal, the better it is for your team. and it's just really annoying to verse against Aphrodite who's got max cooldown, because it feels like they're always full health and they're like never losing health because you're healing so much. Obviously that cooldown is not accurate. So with max cooldown, her healers are on a 7.2 cooldown, all three of her abilities, and that is a really low cooldown for if you're healing, because if you're in a team fight, let me just go change teams again. If you're in a team fight and you do your one combo, you pretty much have it up again. I'm going to do that, I'm going to attack him with that, and then I'm going to knock him back. And then while they're trying to chase me, I've already got it again. I can stun them again. You can even, like I said, with abilities, you can use abilities and make them like go well with an item. So, for example, you can go Polynomicon if you want. This is more of a Conquest build that I've got set up here, but as we're in arena, I will just go Rod of Asclepius next. Number one, it gives movement speed. Number two, increases your healing by 25% if you have been damaged by a maximum. And it just makes it better if they're going anti-heal, then you get the extra healing. So I'm pretty sure it like cancels out to them having, for example, a 40% anti-heal item like a Divine Ruin. You get the Rod of Asclepius, so it's only reducing it by 15%. And as always, if you're in a team fight, the person you're linked to is pretty much never going to die. And it's really like annoying when they're linked to like a warrior or a guardian, because it feels like they just never die and they never lose health, or that's why you want to be getting that. I should have mentioned earlier, Aphrodite's build is basically like a hybrid of Barons and Hells, because they do both heal. So after that, if you see that they do have like a Warrior and a Guardian, try and go Soul Reaver or Ethereal, because they will most likely have a lot of health. I most of the time will go Soul Reaver just because it's a really high damaging item. As I've said in like every single video, Arena is more of a fun game mode where you just build a load of damage and basically just kill everyone. So that's how you want to be doing that. Next I will go Ethereal Staff, just cause having Ethereal and Soul Reaver, which is two health based items, is just really good. And will just help you do a lot of burst damage, not to mention that it gives you health and more tankiness as well. And as a last item, I usually enjoy going Rod of Tahuti, mainly because when you do that, then the last tick damages end up doing like a lot of damage. I'll go demonstrate on a Godbot. Let's just show you how much. I am going to go reduce cooldowns again. So that's why it's just like really good. So if I just stun her and do that, you can see it's doing more damage now, and it just work like really well. And then one more time and she's dead. So she's taken 118 because of the Rod of Tahuti. Does extra damage. I'll just show that again. Why there's two, that doesn't even matter because now they're both dead. So yeah, that's why you want to get rid of 2E, just because you're obviously not doing the most damage. Like, because one of your ability, oh, you only have two damaging abilities basically. Even your ult doesn't do damage. So when they're low health, you want your ability to do as much damage as possible. Relics, honestly, the reason I go Aegis and Beads is because it's just annoying. Not only does her ult make her immune, and then she's got her Aegis as well, and then she's got her Beads as well. It's just really good for helping Aphrodite survive and continue to heal the team. So that's how you're building her in Arena. Now I'm going to go on to Joust. Again, the Arena build is completely up to you. There's not like a specific build. It's just like, it's a fun game, or just build a load of damage like I just did and have fun. Now moving on to Joust. So for Joust, I like to play her Bruiser, I guess you want to say, because she's really good damage and tanky. So I usually start off with Mage's Blessing, not Warriors, because I do want the cooldown from Mage's Blessing. 10% really helps, and I'll still go into the first time Kronos Pendant and Shoes of Focus, just because getting that 40% cooldown as fast as possible is really important. Next, you want to go into a Lotus Crown. That is really good because if you are constantly linked to an ally and healing them and healing yourself, you gain that extra 20 physical and magical protections. It just helps a lot in team fights. Usually you're going to be the mage, so you're also going to be doing damage, and if you have a guardian, then they're going to be really tanky from their items. plus they're going to be more tanky from your Lotus Crown, and then if you have a Hunter as your last person on your team, they're going to be doing a lot of damage as well. Not to mention that you can actually link to the more damaging person if you want, and then when they dive or they're having team fights, it's just going to be annoying for the enemy team because they're going to be surviving for a long time, because you're going to be healing and you're going to be giving them protections, and that is when the Rod of Asclepius comes in. Number one, it gives you health. Number two, it gives you movement speed, 90 power, and not to mention that they heal more around you, whoever you're linked to. So now, whoever you're linked to, not only are they only gaining protections when you heal them, but they are healing even more. It just makes the team fights crazy, and that's why I think she's one of the best gods in the game. I think she's completely broken because if she's linked to someone, the worst being Hercules, it's just crazy that they just never die. It feels like the anti-heal does not work. So that's why you're building that. Now, to give yourself a bit more damage, you want to go Current's Coin. I've actually really, I feel like this item is really underrated. It gives 20% penetration, not to mention the extra HP 5 or movement speed based on how the coin lands after you get an assist. And it's just in general a really good item. So that's going to help you do more damage because it does give you that 20% penetration. And last item, I will get an Ethereal Staff. Again, you want to be a bit more tanky. You can see I've got 2,140 health, and yeah, it just works really well. Now I've got 2,268. It's going to make you a bit tanky, more health, more healing, and it'll help you survive longer in team fights. And lastly, you can sell the Shoes of Focus. I mean, it is completely your choice at this point. I usually like to go Spear of Desolation. I don't usually get this item, but with Aphrodite, because of the cooldown, because you're losing you already lost the 10% from Mage's Blessing, and now you've lost another 10% from Shoes of Focus, so you do want to make up for that. If you just go to you can just go on Power and Cooldown and uncheck the popular items. Now, there's all these items here. Just because you've got 20% penetration here, that extra penetration does help with the tank more, and not to mention it gives 110 power and then that 10% penetration. So after that, when you do buy the red potion in the end, you will get that max cooldown, or you could just pick up the blue buff and the red potion and then get a Soul Reaver instead. It's completely your choice, whichever one you prefer. If you still do want to have the blue buff late game all the time, and then with the red potion to give you that 20% combined with the Chronos Pendant for the max cooldown, you can always do that. But yeah, last time is usually up to use. If you think you're dying more, you want to survive more, you can even go Mantle of Discord, as that does give 10% cooldown as well. Relics, like I said before, if you want to go more of a team play, you can go Shell instead of the beads, as you do still have your ult. But if you don't, then you can go the beads. But again, the relics are completely your choice. But that's basically how you want to be building her in Joust. Now for the main game mode, where she is completely broken, it's actually ridiculous. Just sell these items. Can't sell that. Okay, so for Conquest, the game mode where she is completely broken, in my opinion, it's just, if you have an Aphrodite, your win rate is 9 out of 10 times you'll win, because it's just her healing late game in the team fights is crazy. Not to mention she links to someone, so it's a free Aegis for that person as well, because that's fair high res. I'm going to start off with mid, then I'm going to go to solo, and then I'm going to go to support, because you can play all three roles with her. So for mid, definitely start off with Mage's Blessing, first tier Chronos Pendant, then you can just buy potions. I will usually go for 2 health and 3 mana, because you do have 250 left over, because you just start off with 1,500, 550, so you have 250 left. Mainly, you can even go 1 health potion and then 4 manas, just because mid lane uses a load of mana. The Mage's Blessing helps, but not a lot that you won't need mana potions. Then you finish off the Chronos Pendant and go into Shoes of Focus. And as I said with Hell and Aphrodite, both of them, you want to get the max cooldown as fast as possible. So at this point in the game, you'll have max cooldown, you'll be clearing wave easy, and you can be doing some damage to the enemy god in mid as well. After this, I prefer to go Current's Coin. Now people are like, oh, why are you going Current's Coin third item? They don't really have a lot of defense. Well, number one, when they do start getting that defense online, you will be building Karen's coin. But if you already build Karen coin, number one, by the time they get in the defense line, it's as if it doesn't matter because you've already got 20% penetration. And secondly, the earlier you build it, the faster you can get the stacks on it, as it stacks 8 times. And this is around the time of the game where you're going to be ganking, you're going to be getting ganked, you want to be in those early game team fights and stacking up the Karen's coin, which will help you out in the late game. Now, I know you're going more of a damage build, but the Rod of Asclepius is definitely not a bad item. It gives 90 power, 200 health, 7% movement speed, and increased healing. So not only will that help you out in your lane, but if you're ganking other lanes, you literally just go to the lane, kiss someone, do your healing, and they're going to be healing a lot. You're going to be winning those ganks because of the healing that you have. Not to mention the penetration that you already are going to start stacking, which is why you want to go Rod of Asclepius after Karen's coin. Next, I'll go Ethereal Staff. Like I said, with Aphrodite, you want to have as much health as possible without being too, I guess, having too much protections, because you are in mid, so you want to be going more damage, and that is going to help you steal health. So it can make you go up to 3,000. I mean, not 3,000, 2,300. Don't know what I'm saying. And so that's basically 400 health that you get from these two items. It just works really well with Aphrodite. Not to mention, if you have more health, so now I've got 2,387. As I was saying, not to mention that, like I said, you got to work with your abilities. If you have 400 extra health with those protections in team fights, it is definitely going to make you last longer, which is why you want to be building it. And for your last item, you want to get that Soul Reaver. Now you do have 30% penetration, 2 items that take away people's health or do percentage damage of their health, which is going to be really good against the solo lane and the Guardian. You do still have 30% cooldown, and you are healing more. So this is just in general a really good build. Now this is where you decide what you want to do. You can either go more of a team player and go Lotus Crown if you want. If you have a Chang'e that's already in solo lane and got Lotus Crown, you don't need to go it. Or a Baron. If you got Baron support that has it, you don't need to go it. It's completely up to you. If you just want to go full out damage, you just pick any item you want. To be fair, even a Polynomicon late game is like a really decent item. You just go to someone, hit them and attack them. Like I said, it's all about getting items that work with your abilities. I like to go Polynomicon just because, I'll demonstrate on Neath again. It just makes everything so much easier. You do that, you do that, you do that, and you do that, and as you can see, she's dead. Like, they literally have no chance when it comes to the Polynomicon. And the reason that she can't stun for that 1 second, I don't know why I went in there trying to go to item stack. Like I said, utilizing or optimizing your abilities. That was a weird noise. Optimizing the items you get that go with your abilities. Her one is a 1 second stun, and that's why she's dead. And now we can just, yep, on one auto attack. And not to mention in the team fight, that's just going to be great because you're going to be stunning one person, and after you auto attack them, your team will kill them. She was one hit, and if there's more than one person attacking her, she's definitely dead. So you can go Polynomicon. That's a really good item. You can also, because like I said before, you lost that cooldown, go Spirit of Desolation. You can even go Doom Orb if you want. It's really good power. You already have movement speed from this. That'll give you more movement speed, and you'll still have movement speed from your one. Again, it's all about utilizing, like I said. Make the items work with your abilities. If your abilities give movement speed, get items that give you even more movement speed. It'll make you even faster. Your enemy can't catch you. Not to mention, if you're with Hercules and you're linked to him, it's just going to be like so annoying. The main thing with Aphrodite is you gotta be annoying. So that's what we're going to be building. Wait, I forgot about the relics. Relics, like I always say, it's up to you. Aegis beads, it's just gonna, you want to survive in the long team fight, so that's why you're going to be getting Aegis and beads. But again, if you feel like something else, then you can get something else. Now that's it for the Conquest. I mean, not for the Conquest, for the mid build. I am going to move on to solo now. Just sell these items. Okay, so for solo, you obviously want to start off with Warrior's Blessing, and this is going to be similar to the Baron build, where you want to start off with Lotus Crown, first tier Lotus Crown, 2 full boots to completed Lotus Crown. It's usually a physical god, which is why you want to be building Lotus Crown. It just gives you that extra protections from your 3, makes you tankier. Your healing is just annoying to verse you because they can't kill you. You have the physical protections, you're getting an extra 20 physical protections to give you a total of 80. You got more physical protection from Warrior Blessing, and your healing, so any damage they do to you, you pretty much like heal up anyway, and like that, it's just really annoying. Now I'll mention here right now, but I'll get Lotus Crown again. If they are a magical god, it's better off just to start off with, like, if they're healing a lot, it's up to you really. You can start off with a Pestilence if you want, but me personally, I prefer to start off with a Void Stone. It gives health, it gives power, it gives protections, and it gives penetration, so it's just 4 in 1 item, so it's just really good. You get Void Stone instead. But for the majority of cases, it is a physical god, so I will get Lotus Crown. Now at this point, usually they have like a Glacier or the Berserker Shield, or they're just healing a lot, and it's just getting really annoying. I go Divine a lot of the time, but usually, like I said, this is against a physical god. I'll mention like the magical version of each item as well. So you go Breastplate. Now that's if it's a physical god. Mainly because you're in solo lane, you are tanky, you've already got that 30% cooldown. With the blue buff, you're going to have 40% cooldown. Like I said before, if it's a magical god, this Lotus Crown is a Void Shield. If it's a magical god here, then you get the Genji's guard instead. Again, you are getting that cooldown, but right now we're against the physical god. After this, I like to go the Karen's Coin. You're not doing the most damage, but the thing with Karen's Coin is it's such an easy item to get. It gives you MP5, gives you magical power, gives you 20% penetration. So with the little damage you are doing, you're going to be doing more damage with that because of the penetration. And you get it 4th item because you want to be stacking it as early on as possible. After that, I'll get a Rod of Asclepius just to increase the healing of your team. And not to mention it gives health, so it's going to make you tankier. And last item, I will get like the last 2 items I get are Ethereal and Mantle of Discord. It's your choice in which order you want to get them. If you're dying a lot, get the Mantle of Discord. If you're not dying a lot, get the Ethereal Staff and then sell the boots for the Mantle of Discord. Completely up to you. I will usually get the Ethereal Staff first and then sell the boots for Mantle of Discord. Now I have 248 physical protections, 108 magical protections. Let me just go here. If I just stand, oh, come on, give me movement speed. I'm very slow. I didn't buy the speed pot. As you can see here, now I've got 296 physical protections, 156 magic protection because I am near the enemy gods. So again, you can sacrifice not getting an item. Like I've gotten 3 damage items and only 3 defensive items because my passive does give me protections. I'm just gonna buy a speed pot. Just come slow. Relics, you are going to go teleport first, obviously, and then I like to go shell. You're being a team player, like I said before. You're being more tanky, you're healing more people, and that's why you're giving them protections, you're healing them. You've got your penetration here, and you've got your shell here to help out in team fights. So if you're increasing your allies' protections in a team fight, you are tankier, and you can also give your allies a shell, heal them, more protection. It's just really annoying versus against Aphrodite. I honestly hate it, but I'm pretty much showing you guys how to win with Aphrodite if you are playing her. So that's how you're going to be building her in solo lane. As you can see here, we do have 30%, but then the last 10% from the red potion. That's how you're going to be building her in solo lane. This build works great with Baron as well. You can even do the same build with Hell, because they are all healers. With Aphrodite, it's a bit different because she has less damage, I guess. Only 2 of her abilities damage, so that's why you're going to be doing that. Just sell my relics. Okay, so for the last build in Conquest, we're going to do Aphrodite support. We're going to start off with Guardian's Blessing and Tier 1 Gauntlet. Yeah, shut up, Aphrodite, what are you saying? She's saying okay, that's why I told her to shut up. Okay, you go Gauntlet, Tier 1, I'm just going to buy the full item. Tier 1 Gauntlet into Shoes of Focus, into full Gauntlet. Mainly because you want to obviously be stacking that Gauntlet for the HP 5. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Gauntlet is just a really good item. In general, it gives you 300 health, 50 physical protection, 50 magical, and 15 HP 5. You can't really go wrong with that. Every Guardian should be getting that. Now from here, I'll mention right now actually, because you obviously are going to be going Lotus Crown, you can either go Lotus Crown, Boots, then Gauntlet, or Gauntlet, Boots, then Lotus Crown. Either works and is fine to use. It's completely up to you. If you want to sacrifice maybe a bit HP 5 and health and go for Lotus Crown instead, you can go that instead. It's definitely not a bad item. It is completely up to you which order you want to get them in. After this, I will definitely go into a breastplate. Like I said, you gotta get that cooldown. You can go Sovereignty next. So at this point, I look if the solo is physical, if the jungle is physical, and if the hunter is physical, then I will go breastplate and then Sovereignty. But if they do have a lot of healing, then I'll go breastplate. Where's Pestilence? It's not here. I'll go breastplate, Pestilence, cause 90% of the time, like I said, they do have healers. And then last item, I will go Sovereignty. Remember, you are the tank. This is the build where you barely have any damage because you just can't afford to have it. You need to be your team's tank. So this is the build you want to be going. After the Lotus Crown, you're going breastplate for the cooldown. If they are healing way too much, then goes the Pestilence first and then the breastplate, just to stop that early game healing. And then last item, if they're doing more physical damage, we want to go Sovereignty. If they're doing more magical damage, like 3 magicals, 2 physicals, you look at the ratio: 3 physicals, Sovereignty; 3 magicals, Heart Ward. Because you want to be giving your teammates more protections for the damage that they're doing more. Easy way to check, just click T and you'll see who's doing more damage. But in most cases it is 3 physical, so I will go Sovereignty. And last item I will sell and obviously go Mantle of Discord. Really good. It sends out a shockwave if you're low health. It gives you the 10% cooldown, 60 physical and 60 magical protections, and it's just really good in that sense. Not to mention, if you go to these bots now, come on, quicker. Yeah, there. So you've maxed out physical defense, and you can almost you're close to 300 magical defense. So you're going to be saving a lot for the team fights. You're going to be healing as well. You're not going to be healing as much because of you having like no power, but again, you are healing, but your main thing is to be the tank. You're supposed to be tanking everything. One thing I will say is, if you don't want to go Mantle of Discord, go a damage item instead. Just go cooldown damage. Like I said, you can't afford to sacrifice a bit. Spirit of Desolation always works well, just because it's a lot of damage, it's some penetration, and it gives you the 10% cooldown. You want to be maintaining that max cooldown. You want to be healing your team as much as you can. Relics, I usually go med, but I won't go med. I'll just go shell and then probably a sprint, just to have those team friendly relics that just help the team out in team fights. But yeah, that's pretty much the build. As you can see, this looks a bit out of place. This can be anything you want. I'm just prefer, because this is given 20% cooldown. You want to get your cooldown from somewhere else. You're probably going to buy a power potion, or you can just start taking the blue buff late game and then getting the rest of your cooldown from there. But you can even, like, it's honestly fully 100% up to you. Also a really good item actually, which I should mention, is Ethereal Staff or Gem of Isolation, which is what I go on most tanks. So if you don't care about cooldown that much, go Gem of Isolation. It's going to be slowing them down even more, so that's going to be a 45% slow after you knock them back. If you just want to get more tankier, you can get Ethereal Staff. I'm on 2,690, and I'll quickly go steal some of him. So now I'm at 2,818, and you can just keep stealing. So that last item, I highly recommend either a Gem of Isolation or Ethereal Staff. And you can get the red potion if you want late game. If you can skip it and get a defensive potion if you want, or a 3k part, or you can just get it for the 10% cooldown and the extra power. It's completely up to you. But yeah, that's how you want to be building Aphrodite as support. So now I've gone through Arena, Joust, Conquest, Mid, Solo, and Support. I hope this has helped you guys learn on how you should be building Aphrodite, how you can optimize each item that goes with her ability. For example, a Gem of Isolation with the slow on her 2, or Polynomicon with her 1 because it is a stun, or the healing items because of her 3. As you can see, I didn't go rid of Asclepius just because there's not enough room, and now that I think about it, you can't even go rid of Asclepius. But at this point, they have like 105% anti-heal, so it's just like, is it even worth it? That's what I think late game, but again, it's completely up to you. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there is any other gods you want to see, leave it in the leave it in the comments below. I still have everyone's gods, whoever's commented, on my list, and I am getting through them very slowly. So bear with me, slowly but surely I'm getting through them. I hope this helped you understand how Aphrodite works and how to build her in each game mode. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.